And just to get some perspective on all of the female elite running scene, just a reminder, in a moment we'll be able to bring into our own English studio here Bonnie Lee, who came third in the third. I keep saying that, sounds funny, but she came third in the third. It was the top-ranked female and indeed a top-ranked Hong Kong, I think, performance in the third or the half from a local Hong Kong runner. So excited to have her come and sit in the studio with Charmaine here, learn a little bit more about her experience of racing at the third and the whole Hong Kong 100 experience from her point of view. And of course, get a little bit more information if we can about what we've been watching today from the front end of the elite level female racing pack. So great to get a bit more insight from her on that. That'll be coming to you just shortly. I can just help put some more details onto the leaderboard stats if I can pull up my GPX and GPS tracker data on my screen here. I can talk you through who else is on the race course of interest. So there's the finish line, of course, on the left of screen. I'll zoom in here and we'll see Hau Ha Thi, number 19, just approaching the backside of Tai Mo Shan right now. Nobody at the moment between her and the finish line, so a perfect run-in for her. And then just behind her, somebody we should really commend as well today, and that is Tang Jingyan. We saw her earlier on in the race in a pretty commanding position, looking very strong, and she's held her fourth place all day long and really not lost much ground against Hau Ha Thi. At one point we even wondered if she might end up taking third place.
That's right.
And then Jeff Campbell sitting right on the shoulder of Tang Jingyan all day long. I gather he's had a few stomach problems. But he's still pushing on through that pain, and he'll soon be at the finish line, and we'll obviously be happy to see him cross, and his many supporters and fans will be too. Behind him, just a couple of other athletes to mention. Ling Jieqi, she's been in a strong position all day too. Another solid performance because she's barely lost any ground on the runners around her. And then Kazufumi Osei, a very well-known Japanese runner who often turns up at big ticket events in Asia, pushing on through to the finish line as well. One last mention for all the fans in the Philippines who have been staying up to watch Stingray, and also Larry Apolinario, and of course Arnie Macaneras of Team Philippines from the Filtra crew. He's also approaching Lead Mine Pass. We'll probably see all of these cross as we await Hau Ha Thi. I'm going to jump out of the chair for a moment and hand over to Charmaine as we introduce Bonnie Lee to our feed and celebrate her efforts in the third, and take some time to really reflect and focus on the achievements of the elite females at today's race.
Thank you, Richard. So now we're going to have Bonnie in the studio. Welcome, Bonnie.
Hello.
Hello, Bonnie. Nice to meet you. I'm Charmaine. Yes, first time. Actually, it's not the first time that I meet you. I've seen you like running across some of the trail races, winning in the podiums lots of time. It's so happy to finally meet you in person, that I can really talk to you in person. So please say hello to the audience. You can choose freely whether you want to do it in English or Cantonese, and I can do the translation.
Yeah, I think I would try to do it in English.
Sure, thank you.
It's a good chance to practice.
Thank you. So, congratulations first of winning the third in the third. How do you feel?
Yeah, I feel happy.
Yes. Is that something that you expected? Is that something that is in your plan, that you're going to win the race?
No.
No.
No, I never really thought about the end goal. Like, I'm more like focused in the process, kind of. Yeah. So this race is kind of great. I didn't injure myself, and the nutrition went well, and I just feel great after, and I finished strong, and that's all I want.
So tell us about how you actually prepare for this race. Are you actually, is this one of the focus race that you in the planning that you're going to do well, or like is this just one of the race that you signed up?
Actually, this is the race that I get to sign up because I missed the chance to sign up for the 50K.
Okay, so originally you were going to do the 50K.
Yeah, I want to try the 50K, but then it got full very fast.
Yes, I know.
So, yeah, let's try 30K.
Okay.
So, for the last 3 months, I keep practicing this kind of distance. So to get like a feel of the effort that I have to perform. And I also tried out the routes last month in some of the local races.
Right.
So
yeah. So what would you say, like in terms of distances? Because I kind of like dig out your profiles. I see you actually raced in various distance. Which distance would you say you are best at? Would you say it's the 50K that you were originally going to sign up?
I'm not sure which distance, like 30 or 50, but I think my coaches told me that I'm best at 50.
Right, okay. But obviously you're now, as you got the win, like in the third position, in the third, would you say that, because I always know that if you're doing a shorter distance, you have to make a harder effort, right? Because you have to race against all these speedy runners. Yeah, so how do you feel actually mentally when you were racing? Did you think that, were you thinking that, or did you know actually that you are in the top 3 when you were racing?
I didn't get to the top 3 until the last CP. And I think the most different part is like for 30, you need to keep thinking if you're pushing your best. But for 50, I think I would be more cautious about the pacing.
Okay.
Yeah.
Right. So, goal for this year, like any plans going overseas, or any plans or any races lining up this year for you?
No, not really.
No. So, do you think you will come back to race again next year, like for any races for the Hong Kong 100?
Yeah, sure. I
Which
would definitely
distance?
try to go for 50 again.
50 again. Okay,
Yeah.
right. Would you consider like going longer distance, like maybe Hong Kong 100?
I think not for next year. Maybe
For next year.
maybe 2027.
Okay, right. Okay. So, have you been managed to like see some of the catching up some of the runners, or maybe were you on any of the course today at all?
No, actually-
cheering the racer.
No. Today I just avoid the course, so leave the course to the racers.
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay. Right. So, how do you think? Did you just? Do you know like the 2 women who just won? Like, have you got your favorite picks of the day? Do you know? Which woman or who's your favorite pick, and who you think that is going to win the race? Is that Samaya, or is it
Yeah.
somebody else?
I thought it would be like really exciting race for Samaya and Veronica. Yeah, but yeah, I think Samaya will win.
So looking on the screen now, we are expecting the 3rd winner of a female runner very, very soon, who's going to be Hau Ha Thi. Hau Ha Thi and the 2 winners, they have been racing alongside of each other for the very good third of the race this morning, and then Hau Ha Thi sort of like got a little bit behind after I think the CP5 as it approached the second half of the course, which is tougher and more hills to climb. So we'll be expecting her any minute. So Yeah, so thank you, Bonnie, again, coming into the studio. I hope that you're going to have more wins to come this year and, yeah, in the future. So
Thank you. Thank you for inviting me.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Hey, right, so we are looking at the finish line right now. Okay, so before we are celebrating the third place of female runner, we are now going to interview Samaya.
非常高兴的邀请到了萨萨来到我们这里，跟大家分享一下她胜利的喜悦。Hi, Sasa.
Hi.
Congratulations that you won the champion 2025 and break the course record. Big congratulations.
Thank you so much.
So, 首先恭喜了萨萨，她今天取得了港版2025年的冠军，并且打破了赛道的记录，非常非常的开心，跟大家来分享这个喜悦。那我现在问她一个问题，What do you think the hardest part of today's race?
Hardest part is we three girls, all our girls, so much battle.
Too much battle?
Yes, too much battle. Almost 80 kilometers battle, and it's so hard during the run. It's so much pressure. Before the 50 kilometers, so much flat, and they are all strong runners, and after 50 kilometers, so many climbs, and so hard, and the trail is so nice also, and too much technical, and too much the stairs, uphill and downhill.
萨萨说我问他的问题是，你觉得今天的比赛难不难？他说太难了，有80公里都特别特别难，因为在香港有很多很多的楼梯，然后后面也有很大的爬升，前面比较平缓，后面非常多的爬升，然后有一些赛道也是非常非常的技术，他整个80公里都是在拼尽全力在拼搏。Yeah, but you managed it, so you won the game. Yeah, and normally, where do you train for yourself?
Normally I train in Nepal, but I'm just out for just run, just for a race. And I will come in Hong Kong. I have been in Hong Kong, and if I have a race in China, and I will go there. I have been there, and where is the race? And I will go there.
我问萨萨你平时在哪里训练？他说他平时都是在尼泊尔训练，但当到比赛来临的时候，比方说有港百啊，或者是在国内的一些比赛，他就是在国内的比赛或者来到香港比赛。如果比赛在哪里，他就去到哪里。How many percentage of your training in Nepal?
In Nepal, I train every day.
Every day.
Yes, and once a week, week I have a rest one day, and sometimes I do relax, and sometimes I do long training, and sometimes I do just short. And this I'm a professional trail runner, and Kailas Fuga is sponsor for me, and I'm so happy for them. And just
yeah. How many percentage? So in the there are 365 days per year. How many days are you in Nepal for training?
Nowadays I have been just 2 months and 1 month, and I have been in China 1 month like this, and Hong Kong 1 month, 2 months like this, and just busy for outside of Nepal.
Half.
This year
more international China.
More in this year, last year more in you know, the Europe, in China, and I live in maybe half
half in Nepal
Yes.
and half maybe
outside
one
of
fourth
Nepal.
is in Europe, one
Yes.
fourth in China. 我问萨萨，那你平时在哪里训练？他刚才回答说是在尼泊尔。然后我说，那你有大概多少的比例是在尼泊尔训练呢？一年365天。他说，差不多一半的时间是在尼泊尔训练的，剩下的有1/4的时间可能是在欧洲，1/4的时间是在中国。那他在尼泊尔训练的时候呢，基本上是每天都会训练，但有时候也会做一些力量训练。然后他也感谢他的赞助商对他的支持。So we know. So you are Nepal. You are born with. You are born for the running, and you train, half year in Nepal with high mountains, high altitude, and now come to Hong Kong is 0 sea level. How do you feel? Will you like us to go to high mountain? We have sickness. Do you have 0 sea level sickness?
I don't have problem for the high altitude because I live in 2,300 meter, and here is just sea level from start. But it's not too easy for race. During the race, it's so much competition, and so that's it. But high altitude is not problem for me. It's okay.
我问萨萨，我说你是来自尼泊尔，你从小都是高海拔，你是天生的就是奔跑者。那来到香港的零海拔，你这边会不会有一些醉氧的反应呢？他说他平时训练都是在2300米的高海拔地区，所以他适应了那种高海拔区。但是来到香港，虽然赛道很难，但他本身身体上还是非常享受的，非常适应的。As we know, your sister also won the champion and break the course record. And how many brother and sister do you have?
We have 7 sisters and 1 older brother. We are 8, and I have a big family. We are big family.
7 sisters, 1 brother.
Yes.
我刚才问萨萨，你这边是有几个？因为他的妹妹这一次前2天也是在50公里组取得了冠军，并且打破了赛道的记录。我想问他，你有几个兄弟姐妹？他的回答是我有7个姐妹，1个弟弟。那我接下来问他一下。Are you planning to bring them all to the trail running and to the champions?
No, just we are 2 runners. No, other no. They are married. Their older sister, they are married, and younger sister, they study from school.
So at this moment, it's Ramaya.
Yes.
我问他，那你会不会把你的兄弟姐妹都带到这个越野跑里面，都是参加比赛拿冠军呢？他说，目前为止，他的有一个大一点的姐姐呢是已经成家了，还有妹妹在学习，所以目前为止就是这个妹妹 Ramaya 是跟他一起在训练。How do you think the Asian elite performance on the global stage, including you, on the global stage?
In Asia, so many elite runners, and how do we think? I think that's good.
So let's see. Because now you are in Hong Kong 100, how do you think this battle compared to the more higher level outside international race? Do you think it's very competitive? It's difficult as in the race overseas? Other areas?
Oh yes, everywhere very competition is last month in Thailand by UTMB, so much competition there, and I had a bad race and I came fourth, and here I can make it.
我刚刚问萨，我说你觉得亚洲精英在世界舞台表现是怎么样？他觉得其实香港100就是一个非常非常有竞争力的一个国际化的赛事。他很开心，也看到了他自己也取得了很好的成绩，代表我们的亚洲运动员。谢谢大家，请画面切回到直播间。Thank you so much.
Thank you so much.
Yeah, congratulations.
Wow, huge congratulations to Samaya, of course. Interesting, as always, to hear a little bit more information about some of these elite runners for people who might not be familiar with their incredibly varied life stories. And it's what makes this sport so interesting, really. It's full of different characters from different backgrounds who have had different levels of opportunity coming into the sport. And the level of tenacity among them might always be the same, but their route to get here is always so different.
I know, and as we were joking earlier with Richard, we were saying like how many siblings that Samaya has, and she actually now answered she has 7 siblings, six sisters and 1 brother. Yeah, so it'll be one day see many of her siblings after finish maybe school coming to race internationally on the trail running.
Yeah, quite right. I mean, if her whole family was as good as herself and her sister, we could be looking at an entire top 10, couldn't we?
Yes.
Across both genders. But yeah, tremendous achievement for her. Delighted for her and delighted for all of the fans tuning in to support the Nepalese runners, whether they're fans in Nepal or fans anywhere in the world who have such a strong connection to the Nepalese trail running community. We're just going to jump back into the race course quickly and update you as we try and focus on the conclusion of the female podium. Of course, we've been enjoying watching Hau Ha Thi battle the trails all day long. Here she is, just approaching the summit of Tai Mo Shan, number 19, Hau Ha Thi of Vietnam. Shortly behind her, also special mention to Jing Tan, who seems like she's been making up ground on Hau Ha Thi all afternoon, since Hau Ha's been dropped a little bit off the pace from Veronica and Samaya, but really credible effort from Jing here. She's still potentially in contention to sneak up and make this a real fight to the end if she has a flying downhill on the other side. So we're excited to see how this can all conclude. So we're lining up as best we can to film the 2 of them running over the top of the mountain as we start to get ready to draw to a close our day of live streaming here across the race course. But of course, we won't be doing that until we've seen certainly the 3rd place female safely home, and hopefully the 4th as well, since they're so close together. Back at the finish line already there, waiting for the 2 of them to arrive as we approach the 12-hour mark. For anybody who thinks that's important. Not necessarily everybody's too worried about the time at this point in a race, but anything, frankly, around the 12-hour mark, 12 and a half, 13-hour mark, fantastic time for anybody who's considering doing 100 kilometers in the mountains. Really an amazing achievement. So huge congratulations to all the runners who are still on the mountain, wherever you are across the race course. Of course, you're all amazing, whether you've come home in record-breaking time or you'll be up there all night. It's one of those events where it's a real celebration of human potential and tenacity. We're also looking to try and get some more interviews with some of the other runners who have crossed the line. I want to make a special congratulations to a couple of the runners we just saw crossing in the midst of all of the excitement with the female race conclusion. We saw Ludovic Vriens of the Netherlands, who of course has been based in Hong Kong for a while now. Him and his teammate from the Oxfam Trail Walker winning team. We saw Alex Neyrink also come across the line, and Jeff Campbell as well. Also in the mix, coming across very soon, just behind the 2 ladies that we're waiting for now, Hau Ha Thi and Jing Tan. So at some point, all 3 of those Oxfam Trail Walker teammates will cross. And of course, Ryan Whelan, we should shout out to him too, the 4th of that Oxfam Trail Walker team. He's still out on the race course, trying to see if he can battle for a podium finish in the Grand Sam. Of course, the race where runners will have done 30 kilometers on Thursday, another 50 or so on Friday, and then rounding it all off with the full 103 kilometers today. So let's wish a gayao and a keep going to Ryan as his 3 teammates have crossed the line in the solo event, if you like, the 100-kilometer event. And
also Alexandre Boucher, he's also doing the Grand
exactly.
Sam.
Alexandre Boucher, the well-known French runner who we've been talking to in the last few days. He's also in the mix in the Grand Sam, and looking forward to him crossing the line too. We'll try and check in on the exact standings of the Grand Sam for people who have been following that race and just give you a little bit of an update as to how things are looking. It's certainly been a very competitive race in both fields. I'll just update you on the timings for that as we get the lowdown on who's in which standings in the Grand Sam. You can see the full list of the races here. We know that Ryan Whelan was in around 4th place, and a couple of the Chinese runners Yongbobu in particular were battling it out for the victory in that. I'll try and get the exact breakdown. It's a little bit complicated with the way the results are organised, but I'll try and get the breakdown before we wrap up today so you know who's in contention in both the male and, of course, in the female rankings, where we were looking forward to seeing some strong battles from previous Grand Slam winners. When Feixier, Fan Jiao, they were both looking very strong on days 1 and 2. Claire Banath, of course, from France, was one of the hot favourites for the Grand Slam before we even began the day's events on Thursday. So lots of interest in that race too. Those runners unlikely, of course, to be as fast as the runners just doing the 100K because they've just put in so much effort beforehand. But we've seen some incredible efforts from some of those Grand Slam runners finishing in the top 10 in the individual third and half races over the last couple of days, as the level of competition in that race has become so intense that they're even fighting for top 10 finishes among runners who are only doing one of those 3 races. Go back to the finish line in a moment and look out for other runners who we enjoy seeing take part in all of these Hong Kong races. Always so many familiar faces for us to enjoy celebrating and cheering on as we get closer and closer to the arrival of the 3 female runners. And we'll have a presentation, I heard Janet, the race director, say for the top 10 after we've had the crossing of Hau Ha Thi in, I would estimate, probably around 10 or 15 minutes time based on her position coming up and over the mountain. Hoping, of course, to catch her on our motorbike cam as she comes down the other side. Probably go and revisit her interview also, just to remind ourselves, for anybody joining late, learn a little bit more about her journey to get here to the start line. We spoke to Hau Ha Thi a couple of days ago, and as you'll hear, her preparations for this event have been quite remarkable compared to the preparations of any locally based runner here in Hong Kong.
Hau Ha Thi, welcome to Hong Kong. This is your first time racing in Hong Kong. How are you feeling?
Yes, my first time be in Hong Kong, and I'm so excited and so happy.
And do you know much about the race course, about the Hong Kong trails?
I'm sorry, I didn't know anything.
Have you had a chance to go and see the trail yet?
No, I don't have a time. I'm prefer to read.
And you've had an amazing running year. The last year has been very impressive for you. How are you feeling coming into this exciting race with many competition, lots of strong runners taking part?
I love to running with the strong runner, and I love to running with the elite around the world to show how how power I am. And you know, running with elite, I learn many things, so I don't worry about that. That make me stronger.
And tell us about your training in Vietnam. Where do you normally go training?
Vietnam right now, in my hometown, really cold. Only 0 degree or 1 degree, snow, raining, foggy. And in here, much better. The perfect weather for me.
And do you train in the high mountains in Vietnam?
Yes, I training in the Sapa. That's a mountain like 1,500 altitude.
And I just have one final question for you. You're very famous at the finish line. You always have your special hat. Have you brought the hat with you this time?
Yes, I bring every race I race in the finish line. I love to wear the non la from Vietnam.
All the very best for the race. Please enjoy yourself.
Thank you very much.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to seeing the non-la hat at the finish line yet again. I'm sure somebody's already dusting that off down there at the Tai Mo Shan Visitors Centre and getting ready to hand it to her somewhere a little bit further up the trail, since she tends to like to run in wearing it towards the finish line rather than come and collect it after she crosses the banner. But it's a trademark. I've seen her do this so many times, and it's a great thing to celebrate her traditional local culture, of course, as she takes part in these races.
So it will be the first time for me, actually. I haven't seen.
Yeah, great.
So.
Yeah, I always wonder who it is that actually carries it overseas from maybe from her hometown, or maybe they pick one up locally, depending on where they're racing. But it's something that I've always enjoyed seeing when she crosses the line.
Yes, definitely.
Yeah, we were speaking earlier today to David Lloyd, the race director of the Vietnam Mountain Marathon, who knows Hau Ha very well because she's from the area in northern Vietnam, Sapa, where his race takes place. And her first sort of breakout performance on the international stage was at his race 2 years ago. And it really set the stall for her becoming a more recognized figure in female elite trail running. And since then, just gone from strength to strength. So great to connect all these races together on the World Trail Majors in this way, give people more opportunities both as runners and also as cultural tourists, I suppose, to go and see some new places in the context of a racing holiday, knowing that these races are all at a kind of a certain level of organization. There's a certain sense of, I think, reassurance for a lot of us when we look at these race events now, and we know it's part of this sort of series, that it's probably a good bet to take a punt and go and try them out, rather than necessarily not being quite sure how established they are or how connected they are or how organized they might be relative to races we might be used to racing back home. You've been yourself to race in Madeira, you mentioned.
Yes.
One of the World Trail Majors races.
Correct.
How was that whole experience for you relative to racing in Hong Kong?
Compared to the trails in Hong Kong, actually I think I find the trails in Madeira more runnable, but then you have obviously much bigger mountains to climb. Whereas in Hong Kong, you have do a bit of going up some mountains, going back down. It's a totally different experience, and I would definitely recommend everyone to go to Madeira. It's a very nice place, incredible views. Yeah, it's very good.
Yeah, fantastic. Another good recommendation. We also had the race director of the Grampian Peaks Trail here on the show earlier alongside our commentaries, as we switch back to the race course and catch some more live action coming over the top of the mountain on our motorbike cam. Of course, focusing in on the woman we've just been talking about.
Hau Ha Thi from Vietnam, and she's put a jacket on, as I see.
It looks that way, doesn't it? I guess it's getting pretty chilly up on Hong Kong's highest mountain right now. We're shielded from that here in the studio, but I'm not surprised. I'm sure there's going to be a lot of runners running through the night in this race tonight who will be needing at the very least a windbreaker and probably some Yu Pin Jok or maybe some hot congee to help them get through the night. But
yeah, yes, I remember when I was racing for Hong Kong 100, when I got on top of Tai Mo Shan, it's windy and it's very foggy as well. And hence the name of the Tai Mo Shan actually. Now Tai Mo Shan, we translate it straight, it's Big Hat Mountain. But actually, before that, it's actually called Dai Mo Shan, which is Mo means fog. Yeah, so it's always foggy in Tai Mo Shan, and sometimes if you go up training up at Tai Mo Shan, it's actually very foggy that you can't really see, you know, just within meters away. Yeah, so. Yeah, I'm not surprised that Hau Ha Thi is wearing a jacket. It's getting cooler towards the evening now.
yeah, nice trivia. I like that. I didn't realize the mole used to be a different mole.
Yes.
Well, how about that? Nice and smooth coming down the mountain. I'm trying to actually pick out the runner alongside her there. High five between them. I need to just check who this is who's running alongside her, because maybe she's setting off now on her own as they approach the finish line. I can't see on the tracker that there's actually a male elite running in the same section of the trail, unless this is one of her supporters or somebody just out for a run. Not quite clear at the moment, but I'm sure we'll soon get clarity on that as they cross the line. But exciting to see them come down in tandem, that's for sure. Great to see them do a high five at this point in a race. Just shows the celebratory nature of this event. And really excited to piece together this final part of our live streaming puzzle, which is of course to celebrate the podiums in both the male and the female races as we see the jacket come off.
Yes.
Wait for the hat. Where's the nonla? And there it is. Right on cue. Just as we hoped. And here she comes. What a day out in the mountains. The first time racing in Hong Kong. She may be just adjusting her hat strap potentially there. And here she comes. A people's champion for anybody who's a supporter of Vietnamese trail running. Stops the watch, a bow to the crowd. Up with the banner and bravo, Hau Ha Thi. What a performance with little to no experience of racing on these trails here in Hong Kong. Quickly whisked away by her support crew to get her warm and fed and looked after. And then I'm sure we'll be able to celebrate her success.
Probably Veronica.
There's Veronica giving her a huge round of praise and support and applause. It's always just so nice having people come in to race in Hong Kong with so much energy and positivity and an excited spirit. Really raises the game for all of us. Really happy for her and really happy for all the fans who have been messaging us with
There was more runners crossing the finish line. There are still many runners up in the mountains, going through different sections of the course.
That's right, Song Lee there. Just a shout out to Song Lee, getting some time on the live stream here. Pretty solid performance from him. He's got an intra-score of 750. Runner from China. Looks like a really strong competitor, doesn't he? Tough guy. Big, strong legs on him and strong set of shoulders. Great job smashing out another 100K race. Good to see that he's got some support looking after him at the finish line. Oh, and still got the energy for some showmanship. A one-handed pickup at the finish line. Good job. Lovely to get some colour at the finish from runners like this, still with so much energy to burn. So we'll do our best to secure a quick interview with Veronica and with Hau Ha at the finish line, and we'll also be looking to try and speak to Steve and Janet, the race directors of the Hong Kong 100, and get their thoughts on what's been an inspirational day of trail running action across the Hong Kong territory. Oh, good to see that Hau Ha there's wrapped up warm. She's been given a few extra layers. And there's the race event team making sure she's nice and warm and she's got what she needs. Third place today. What an achievement for her and for trail running in Vietnam.
Finished just 9 minutes past the 12 hours, so it's very good, very strong.
You can see how many layers some of the supporters are wearing at the finish line. Just a measure of how chilly it's becoming on the mountain at this time of year in the evenings. Big smiles there, of course, still from Hau Ha. She's still got her trademark red arm sleeves on with the Vietnamese flag logo on her forearms. Bit of choreography here from the event team to try and get the three ladies together for a proper celebration of their efforts. As soon as this is finished, we've got Veronica lined up for interviews on our channels.
Congratulations, everyone.
It's great to see the rapport that exists between these top-level athletes.
Great, we've got the top three ladies.
It's a great advert for trail running. I often think it's somewhat unusual, really, in top-level international sport these days to just have such camaraderie between rivals.
We've got Samaya Budha, Veronica Lang, and Hau Ha Thi. Congratulations.
Pictures of the three winning ladies.
Absolutely amazing. We've been following the three of you the whole day. It's absolutely inspiring. Well done, ladies. Right now we're going to do the presentation for the top 10 men. Please may I ask the top 10 gentlemen to make it to the prize presentation stage. Thank you.
It's going to be the presentation for the top 10 male runners.
麻烦大家来到我们的颁奖台，我们马上就颁发头10名的运动员的奖项。
And as we await those presentations, we've managed to get Veronica Lang with our reporter Natalie at the finish line. Let's celebrate her incredible achievement with her second place result.
Ladies and gentlemen,
She's with Natalie now at the finish.
2025.
Hi everyone, we have Veronica here and she just won the first runner-up at the 100k race here. Veronica, congratulations. How do you feel?
Well, I feel amazing now that it's over. But now I had a great race today, so everything went smooth and yeah, just happy to be back at this event after 5 years.
Yeah, you did really well last time as well. So how does it compare?
Well, I mean, back then I was less experienced, but I had a huge drive. Now I feel like I'm more trained and I know more about trail running. So I was going into it like, okay, I really want to do well. I want to do better than last time. And thanks to the amazing competition, I really was able to push myself to my limits and do as good as I could today.
And can you just tell us a little bit more about your race plan and how did it go today?
Race plan was the time was just to do better than 5 years ago, which I managed by 20 minutes, so I'm very happy. And I just had a very specific nutrition plan that turned out well as well. And then I had amazing support of my husband and my friends, so everything is easier when you have those people at the crucial times when you really need them. So those were the key points.
So today's the girls' competition is actually really very, very strong. Was there any point that you actually felt really pressured or a bit hard?
Oh yeah, when I heard Samaya and Hau Ha are coming, I was like, okay, I have to follow them. But to be fair, 5 years ago it was Fuzhou, so at the same time I was happy because I knew, okay, I have to push and see how it goes. And yeah, I felt a lot of pressure because I'm also living in Hong Kong and people know me and I didn't want to disappoint at home, right?
Yeah, but you did so well. Congratulations again. Thank you, Veronica. Going back to the studio.
Bravo team. Thanks so much, Natalie, and thanks, Veronica. It's always so nice to just get some airtime for these amazing athletes when they get to the finish and have time to slow down and reflect on their achievement. But pretty inspiring, I think, for many runners to see Veronica come back from time off. In this case, family related, but for anybody who takes time off from the sport they love and perhaps wonders if they'll ever get back onto the form that they used to enjoy, it's pretty inspiring.
Yeah, as I said earlier, it's so amazing that Veronica beat her personal record back in, I believe, a few years back by 20 minutes. That's pretty amazing after she had a baby and everything. She had to take care of the family and be able to take the time to go back on training and getting even better performance, better shape. So very happy for Veronica.
Here's the presentation now, of course, for the top 10 men. Now the first 3 females have all crossed the line. Can run through this in reverse order just for your better understanding. You have just on the right of screen there, you have Jie Zhang. You have Ludovic Vriens of the Netherlands in 9th place. I believe that might be his best result. I have to check with him later. But certainly an incredible time, 11 hours and 3 minutes for him. Zhou Cao as well from China. We have Mankamar Rokamagar. And I can just hear Janet announcing there in 6th place as I catch up. John Ray Onifa, Stingray, of course. There he comes. I'll let Janet take over now. I've caught up for you on the commentary. Here he comes, Stingray.
第6名是 John Ray Onifa， 我们通常叫他 Stingray 的代表是 T8 Global， 完成的时间是10个小时36分07秒，恭喜。Coming in 5th is Shen Jiashen, representing the North Face Chorus at a time of 10 hours, 29 minutes, 52 seconds. 第5名係新加新代表 The North Face Chorus， 完成時間係10個小時29分52秒。第5名是申嘉生代表 The North Face Chorus， 完成時間是10個小時29分52秒，恭喜。Fourth position is Enel Christian Manole, representing Team Salomon at a time of 10 hours, 16 minutes, 59 seconds. 第4名係 Enel Christian Manole， 代表 Team Salomon 10個小時16分59秒。 第4名是 INL Christian Manole， 是 Team Solomon， 完成的时间是10个小时16分59秒。Well done. Coming in 4th position is representing the North Face with a time of 10 hours, 7 minutes and 53 seconds. 第3名係鄧國文，代表 The North Face 完成嘅時間係10個小時7分53秒，恭喜國文。第3名是鄧國明 ，represent 代表 The North Face 完成的時間是10個小時7分53秒，恭喜。鄧國文好多 fans 啊！ And then 2nd position is Qin Guigu, representing Utopia, in the record time of 9 hours 51 minutes 11 seconds. Congratulations. 第2名係錢貴都，代表 Utopia， 完成嘅時間係9個小時51分11秒。第2名是錢貴都，代表 Utopia。 完成的时间是9个小时51分11秒，恭喜恭喜！ The 2025 ANTA GUANJUN Hong Kong 100 Ultra Marathon champion is Man Guangfu, representing Hoka, China. Finishing time of 9 hours 43 minutes 10 seconds, a new course record. 我哋2025年安大冠軍香港100越野跑嘅冠軍係孟光富，完成嘅時間係9個小時40分10秒，代表 Hoka 係一個新嘅賽事紀錄，恭喜恭喜！ 我们2025年ANTA GUANJUN 香港100越野赛的冠军是孟光富，代表 Hoka， 9小时43分10秒，是一个新的纪录，恭喜恭喜！也是很多粉丝。 那大家留步，我们拍一个照。Can everybody stay and give us a big smile, big grin, and we'll take a good photo together. Thank you very much. Well done. Thank you very much. 谢谢大家，谢谢大家。
Just finished up presenting all the awards to the top 10 male runners.
Well, we are congratulating the top 10 men finishers today. We got the 4th winning the finisher today too. Number 9, 中国跑手唐景嫣，恭喜你，完成时间12个小时19分钟，恭喜。 唐燕姬，恭喜你！
So if anybody is just tuning in now, we have all the, we just had the presentations of all the awards to the top 10 male runners, and then we just had all 3 ladies runner came to the finish line, and today it's a celebratory moment as we have 4 of our racers breaking 4 of the course records, and that includes the first and runner-up of male runner and also first and runner for the female runners. You can see from the screen Fu Zhao cheering for Meng Guangfu, the winner of Hong Kong 100 today. He managed to finish 9 hours 43 minutes. It shaved 17 minutes from the last record that was achieved by Liu Peichen. A lot of fans asking to take photos.
Yeah, great celebrations there at the finish line. We're expecting a prize ceremony for the top 3 women very soon, which we will bring you, celebrate their achievements.
See so many supporters waiting at the finish line, waiting for maybe her friends or family members.
And you too, congratulations！ 恭喜晒，翻到嚟終點啦！完成今日100公里嘅比賽，絕對唔簡單啦！恭喜晒！13秒，恭喜你！原配，恭喜你完成時間12個小時35分鐘。我等10年姐，他马上來了，在那兒。有，我給你拍照。還有也完咗比賽啦 ，congratulations！ 恭喜你完成今日100公里嘅比賽。我哋又有一個女仔嘅跑手翻到嚟啦，來開始7號何麗姐，恭喜你完成的時間12個小時31分鐘，恭喜你！
It's always like it always feels like you just had a dream after you finish the race and waking up the next morning, wondering what you've been doing for the past maybe 24 hours. Yeah, it just brings back a lot of my memories racing this event twice.
Yeah, what have you tended to do, Charmaine, on your Sunday after doing this event? Do you remember? Do you have a particular routine you enjoy for your recovery day?
One thing that I couldn't quite remember what I did on the Sunday after the race, but then surely what I could remember is I cannot walk. I couldn't walk. I could barely got myself able to get myself out of bed. So yeah, And I remember when I was racing for the first year, I didn't move to the place that I am living in now. So I had to climb up 4 stories of stairs just after I finished the race. So yeah, you just cannot imagine how difficult it is after finish running 100 kilometers, and yet you had to climb 4 flights of stairs until you get home.
The walk-up building, the curse of the walk-up building.
Yes, yeah.
Well, good job. I hope you enjoyed Jeff looking a bit beaten up at the end of this race, but what a hero. He's always...
Oh, he's
look
give
at
us
that.
a kiss.
A moustache for the camera. Yeah, not sure he had his best day on the trail today, but a true trail warrior as always. Looks like he's got a well-earned beer at the finish line. Jeff, of course, was sat in the commentary seat last year alongside our teams as we broadcast this race globally for the first time in this bilingual setup. Back on the trail this year. Exciting to see him racing again.
I almost couldn't recognize Jeff there until you said it's Jeff because of his mustache.
Ah, yes, the disguise.
Yeah. There'll be presentation for the top 3 women in any moments now. As I can see, the winners, they are going to get a bottle of some kind, maybe some kind of alcohol.
That's right, they actually have a tradition of presenting their own custom bottles of wine that are Hong Kong 100 branded.
Presentation for the top 5 ladies. Coming in 5th position is Chi-Ling-Ji with a time of 12 hours 31 minutes and 34 seconds. Chi-Ling-Ji. Chi-Ling-Ji. Team Salomon, Chi-Ling-Ji.
I'm just looking at the elite runners who are doing the Grand Slam. Alexander Bourget, he just passed checkpoint 9, which is the last checkpoint at Letman Pass.
Yes, great spot. Thank you for picking up on the Grand Slam conclusion. We're just awaiting the presentation for the top female elites who have crossed the line already. But yes, the Grand Slam's still very much ongoing. We've seen the first 4 male athletes cross the line.
Thank you, Mary. So coming in the 5th position is Chi-Ling-Ji. Team Salomon with a time of 12 hours 31 minutes and 34 seconds. 第名嘅係Chi-Ling-Ji Team Salomon 嘅運動員，完成時間係12個小時31分34秒，恭喜恭喜！第5名是Chi-Ling-Ji，是Team Salomon 的，完成时间是12小时31分34秒，恭喜，恭喜恭喜！ And then coming in the 4th position is Tang Jingyan.
There's Chi-Ling-Ji there on stage collecting her prizes for coming in 5th. Chi-Ling-Ji, fantastic run by her today. Next up, Tang Jingyan, who we've seen on the trail a few times early on in our coverage. Very strong performance from her.
Well done, Jingyan.
And there she is, Jing Yan. Always smiling at races.
Well done, Jing Yan from Team Salomon. 恭喜唐景賢完成時間係12個小時19分07秒，代表 Team Salomon 嘅。
Jing Yan, great to see her
第四
racing
名
in
是
Hong
唐
Kong.
景賢，完成時間是12小時19分07秒，代表 Team Salomon， 恭喜！ 恭喜小商。
So she's just 10 minutes behind
And
the
coming in the
third
third
position, Hau Ha
position
Thi.
is Hau Ha with a time of 12 hours, 9 minutes and 11 seconds.
And Hau Ha Thi,
Representing
of
youth
course.
sports.
We've been celebrating her
第
efforts
三
all
名
day
嘅
long.
係 Hau Ha， 完成嘅時間係12個小時9分11秒，代表嘅係 youth sports。第三名是 Hau Ha， 完成的时间是12小时09分11秒，代表的是 youth sports。
So there is the trophy that Dan Guomin was talking about.
Oh, yes,
The real
you're right.
trophy.
Yes, you're right. Good point.
And the flowers on top of that trophy is actually the signature flower of Hong Kong.
Veronica Lang.
I don't know what's it
Veronica Lang.
That's
in
right,
English.
the Bohemia flower.
Bohemia,
it's
yes,
called,
that's
yeah.
right, yes. Here is Veronica, our well-known local runner
Veronica's
who's from
finishing time
actually
is 11
Slovakia.
hours, 25 minutes, 22 seconds. Well done, Veronica. And the champion of the 2025 ANTA GUANJUN Hong Kong 100 Ultra Marathon is Samaya Budha. Congratulations, Samaya, with a new course record. 恭喜恭喜！我哋2025年香港100 Ultra Marathon 嘅冠軍係 Samaya Budha。 Samaya 嘅完成時間係11個小時11分47秒，亦都係創新咗一個新嘅紀錄。我們2025年ANTA GUANJUN 香港100越野賽的冠軍是 Samaya Budha， 完成時間是11個小時11分47秒，也是一個新的賽道紀錄，恭喜！ Well done, ladies. Please let us have a happy picture. Please raise your buckles. But remember, 其實恭喜恭喜！好，謝謝大家。Thank you.
Back at the finish line for some final celebrations here as we'll try and round off our live stream with a quick interview with Hau Ha Thi, our third placed female who's attracted so much attention. And then we'll talk to the race event organisers, Steve and Janet, to get their overall take on the day of action and indeed their 3 days of trail running celebrations for the Hong Kong 100 events. And then we'll show you some of our highlights from the day, our visual montage of our best moments from today's live stream to celebrate everything that we've seen and transmitted across the many hours of broadcasting before we start to wrap things up. Okay, standing by, we'll be heading to the finish area very soon to talk to Hau Ha Thi with our reporting team on the ground there. We look forward to hearing Hau Ha celebrate her incredible race across the mountains today.
Hi everyone, I have Hau Ha here. She just won the, came third, she just came third in the 100k race in the women race. So congratulations, Hau. How are you feeling? It's your first race in Hong Kong. You've done so well. Tell us about it.
I'm feel sick. But I'm okay. I'm okay. The day not my day because I treat my uncle in sick time. So the third time is very hard for me. I need to stop for a few minutes. Then the real thing I'm DNF, but I'm not. I just say no, I'm not DNF. I keep running.
What a great achievement!
Yeah. Yeah, I need time to recover. So in the middle of the race, in 40k, my body not feeling well, but I'm okay.
Yeah, really good job.
Yeah.
So it's the first time doing this race on this trail, on this course. How did you find it? Did you like it? Did you love it? Or you just hate it?
I know, I love that. I love the race. I love the people in Hong Kong, and I love the organizer. But you know, in the last checkpoint, and go to to the last checkpoint. I met my coach, and go to the last checkpoint. I see many monkey. The monkey. I never seen a lot monkey.
Did you like it?
I like that. But
you will be the first runner that say that you actually love the monkeys here, because a lot of the runners, international runners, they didn't really like the monkeys. But yeah.
Yeah, for me, I love that. I show many monkey, but I don't have anything to give to a monkey.
That's so kind.
Yes,
and
so cute.
So, comparing the trails back home where you train in Vietnam, in Sapa, and the trails here in Hong Kong, are they very different or are they quite similar?
Oh, yeah, really different. Here, too much concrete and many steps.
The famous stairs. Lots of people complaining about that too.
Yeah, really different. I like technical, but here too many steps. So I try to fix myself, but in the last 20k it's okay to my body. I'm feeling good.
And this year, the women competition is actually really fierce. The competition, they're so strong, they're really fast girls. And yeah, how do you feel after running with these girls?
Oh yeah, I feel great. You know, I'm happy to run with the elite like Samaya or Veronica or another elite. So every people stronger every year, every moment, every day. So I feel great.
Very good. So my last question question is that, will you come back next year?
I will change step and then I will come back.
Great. We'll see you next year then.
Yeah.
Congratulations. Get some rest. Going back to your studio.
Wow, fantastic to have Hau Ha Thi celebrating her amazing achievement there with Natalie at the finish line. The monkey's obviously a highlight for her.
That's
It's
right.
quite fun to hear her remember that as being a special moment. But what an experience for her. She only arrived in Hong Kong, I think 48 hours earlier than the race itself, and had very little time to really get her head around the trails here. So as we've mentioned before, what an achievement, and be delighted to see her come back in some shape or form to race in Hong Kong.
And I just hope that her ankle is going to be okay. She said that she had rode 6 times.
Yeah, sounds like a bit of a rough race
Yes.
for her, to be honest. She sounded a little bit disappointed, didn't she, that she wasn't perhaps more competitive in her own mind, based on her
Still,
very
she came 3rd.
high standards.
Yes.
But I'm sure she just probably didn't feel like she was pushing as hard as she wanted to. That's the
Yeah.
bottom line, isn't it?
Yeah.
Irrespective of the time and the position, if you just don't feel like you're running as strongly as you know you can, you know, of course it's frustrating. But yeah, what a performance from her, and she's clearly got new fans. That's what the live stream tells us. So really excited to see her continue to compete, of course, here, but anywhere really across Asia and the rest of the world. And I hope more opportunities come her way, because not only is she a super running talent, but she's a ball of positive energy at races. And
And I hope that I can see her in Vietnam if I ever get a place for the coming World
Yes.
Trail majors in Vietnam. I'll be very happy to see her.
quite right. It certainly looks like a race to visit. We'll try and check in just while we wait to speak to the event organizers on some of the opportunities that we've seen coming across the live stream for focusing all the different runners from different backgrounds and so on. But one of the things I'd like to just highlight is the opportunity to look at the Grand Sam results, since there's some chatter about that now. I'll bring up the results as best we can display them. Yeah, fantastic effort. I'm looking at the screen here. I've got to show the results for the Grand Sam. It's a little bit hard to display this perfectly cleanly, but I'll just enlarge it as best I can. So this is the top 5 male finishes in the Grand Sam in reverse order. You've got there Huang Long, Zhang Weiqiang, Liu Yang, Ryan Whelan, of course, the Hong Kong-based British runner, and Wu Yongbu. Just interesting to have a look at the split times across the, or rather the total times across the 3 races. So a pretty dominant display by Wu Yongbo here to take the overall victory in the Grand Sam. 20 hours and 30 minutes of running in 3 days. It's a very impressive effort,
Wow.
isn't it? A real commitment to compete in this Grand Sam. Beneath him, Ryan at 21 hours and 8 minutes. And then really it starts to get pretty competitive here. You've only got a 6-minute gap across 3 days of racing
right.
between him and Liu Yang. And again, only
8 minutes.
yeah, another what?
Oh, sorry.
Sorry, I think
18 minutes.
18 minutes between Liu Yang and Zhang Weiqiang. And then again, crazy to believe, but you've got, it looks like 3-minute
minutes.
gap between 4th and 5th for Huang Long. I mean, really incredible across 3 days of racing. Li Ke and Alexandre Boucher of France due to come in fairly soon. Also, Bai Xingzhi, Zhe Jianding, and also, of course, Salomon Wetstein, another well-known figure, along with David Longo here in Hong Kong. Both runners we're used to seeing a lot on the trails here, also due to come in short succession. So fantastic achievement for the gents in the Grand Sam. I don't think we have a Grand Sam female finisher just yet, but we'll update you as soon as we get any news of that, if we're still live streaming at that moment. But in the meantime, look at this. 2 superstar sisters on your screen, Samaya Budha and her sister Ramaya, the champions of both the half and the full. What a weekend of racing for them and for the Budha family to celebrate. Supremely talented family. It does make you wonder, as we joked earlier, what would happen if the whole family turned up on the race course.
I know.
But how exciting for both of them, and I'm sure the start of many more opportunities for them to race here in Hong Kong and elsewhere based on their successes here today and the platform that hopefully that will offer them in terms of getting more publicity and sponsorship. Just doing our best to try and honour the efforts of all of these elite runners who have done so well in, of course, both the male and the female categories, and the Grand Slammers as well, before we need to start wrapping things up for what's been a long day of live streaming here from our studio and on the race course, with our teams positioned as best we can to bring you all the footage we can from inside and above the trails.
A great shout out to all the team members, and also the volunteers in the race, all of them, whether they are doing the course markings, being marshals on the course, and you know, helping out at the checkpoints. Kudos to them.
Yeah, these events really couldn't happen without that huge team effort. There's so many people involved across so many different disciplines, many of whom, as you say, are volunteering to make this happen, and fantastic to see all of that energy come together to make these events a celebration of trail running, but also safe and secure for the runners, so that they have all the support they need to be looked after, since it's really no small thing to run through the mountains for 11 hours. That looks like Joseph Yeung just crossing the line there.
Yep.
Another very well-known face on the Hong Kong trail running scene, and an incredibly strong runner himself. It's amazing how many people are involved in this event. When I've been going through my network, if you like, or my phone book or something, to just see who's been available to help with the media broadcast this time around, it's been incredible just seeing how many of our running friends or friends of running friends or anything like this are all somehow connected with either racing or supporting runners across the race course. It's been actually very difficult to find enough people to help out with the live stream, but of course that's a nice reflection in a way of just how many people are already connected or involved or obligated in some way to some other part of the race operation. And speaking of honouring the efforts of some of the runners that we've been filming all day long, we're actually just going to be able to capture the prize ceremony for the Grand Slam before we wrap up, which is a nice opportunity to showcase those crazy runners that have done all 3 events across 3 days.
Amazing. On the same course as well.
Yeah, it is somewhat unusual to basically run the same route 3 times in a row and know that each time you do it, you're going longer and higher. Always interesting to catch up with those runners and have a full sort of post-mortem analysis of their experience a few days later, because running the same route 3 days in a row is certainly an interesting experience.
I mean, from the training point of view, I'm actually very interested to know whether they are actually running the course, like if they're from local areas, whether they are running the same course over and over again for the training for this race, or are they doing something else? Because it's just so mind-blowing thinking about doing the same course hundreds of times.
Yeah, certainly next time they run on this part of the Macklehouse Trail for any other reason, it might bring back quite a few funny memories of doing it 3 times in a row for the sake of the Grand Slam.
I remember when I was first training for the trail walker, that's my first 100 kilometers race. And I was telling my friends that I would never set a foot on the Macklehoes again. But then, like, maybe I remember 1 month later, I was hiking on the same trails with my friends.
Yeah, it's perfectly reasonable to want to take a little break, isn't it, after putting so much of your heart and soul and energy into a specific trail section or segment or even one particular race. Have a look at the famous Daimosan kiosk here, Lin Jie. Sounding file up almost. That looks like
Tony.
That looks like Tony.
Yeah, my friend. Yes.
Yeah, looks like Tony hanging out at the kiosk. Always nice to celebrate the local quirky community spots on the Hong Kong trail scene. There's probably not a runner in Hong Kong who's been running on the trails for a few years who hasn't at some point visited that kiosk for a drink or 5. Certainly saved me a few times when I've been trying to run back to Tai Mo Shan from somewhere else on the Macklehoes and desperately needed some kind of liquid at the end of getting over the top of Tai Mo Shan.
And Lin Jie almost never rests. She'll always have her store open for the trail runners or like any visitors to this country park. I think the Grand Slam presentation is going to happen in any moment.
OK， 我哋而家頒發大滿貫男子組頭3名嘅獎項。第3名 coming in the 3rd position. Before I do that, I have to invite our guest to do the prize presentation. And is Mary here? Mary Lin. Oh, Mary! Thank you. Thank you, Mary. So, coming in the 3rd position is Yu Yang, representing Ethiopia. Congratulations.
You can just hear the Grand Slam presentation being prepared in the background there as we go around the finish line.
And 34 seconds.
Friends and family waiting for runners to arrive.
代表 Ethiopia， 佢嘅完成時間係21個小時14分44秒。恭喜！第3名是劉洋，代表 Ethiopia 完成的總時間是21小時14分44秒。恭喜恭喜！ Coming in the 2nd position is our Ryan Millen, representing Gun Running Joint Dynamics T8.
Just the final 3 positions here now being announced in the Grand Slam.
And 32 seconds. Is Ryan here?
Ryan Whelan being ushered towards the stage for his second place after Yang Liu just came and collected the third placed prize. And here he is, Ryan. What a strong performance to take second across the 3 days of racing. A great handshake there for his fellow Grand Sammer. For anybody asking on the live stream, Alexandre Boucher, the French superstar runner who came over to do the Grand Sam this year, he's still out on the course. He should be coming home pretty shortly. He'll finish in the top 10, certainly, of the Grand Sam, and probably the top 6 or 7.
2025 ANTA GUANJUN Hong Kong 100 ultramarathon, the Grand Sam champion is Wu Yongbo.
And Wu Yongbo, big round of applause at the finish line for him. Ultimately a pretty decisive victory across the 3 days by an aggregate total, a total amount of minutes of some 30 minutes, a half-hour victory over everybody else across the 3 days of racing. Fantastic consistency to maintain that kind of dominance across 3 days of racing. So huge congratulations to him and to everybody who took on the Grand Sam Challenge. What a crazy challenge it is.
Certainly is.
Well done, gentlemen. Great run over 3 days. Amazing.
Yeah, great camaraderie there among those runners. They've spent a lot of time together over the last 3 days. Probably doing a lot of calculations as well after the race day to try and work out the overall standings.
So we have interview lining up to interview our race director, Steve. So here we'll have Steve's interview, our race director.
Yeah, great chance now to hear from one of the people who are behind this entire enterprise, the race director, Steve Brammer, the mastermind along with his wife, Janet, for the entire Hong Kong 100 operation. Let's go to him at the finish line now.
Hi everyone, I've got Steve here. He's the race organizer of this amazing, amazing race. Congratulations, Steve. It's been going well. You know, today just been amazing. So how has today's been for you?
A lot of fun. We've been running around as well, so we've had to be on our toes a little bit. But the weather conditions were perfect. The amount of talent in the field was incredible. Just some performances that are just undescribably good. We've had a lovely time, and of course the broadcast will stop, but we're going to carry on partying with all of the runners who are still out there enjoying themselves.
Yeah, great. Can you just tell us a little bit more about the runners that we have, because we have such really strong field today? Does it mean that we can attract even top elite runners to come join the event in the future?
Well, it's hard to see how you get more talent than this. You know, perhaps if Courtney and Killian join us, then. But you know, the standard of running was incredible, absolutely world class. And you look at Guang Fu winning for the second time, and of course he was second in the World Trail Majors last year. Qingui Du, Deng Guomin were third and fourth. So it's, you know, they're the best runners in the world, or amongst them for sure. But I think people will see how much fun everyone's having and how they come back every single year. You know, Guomin has just finished his 8th Hong Kong 100. And I think they'll want to be part of it, and we hope they will, and we'll try and fit them in. But no, it's been wonderful to see those performances. The Guang Fu to smash the course record and win for 2 years in a row. And of course, a big story of the week has been the Budha sisters. For Samaya to win in a course record in the 100, and for Ramaya to win in a course record in her first ever race overseas from Nepal. What talent! And I mean, Ramaya, I think, is a star of the sport for the future, and Sunmaya is a world-class athlete anyway. She's already, you know, there. So I think that's what people will remember most from this edition, is the Budha sisters, and good on them. What performances, amazing.
Yeah, they're really, truly amazing. Speaking of amazing, both course records have been broken. So how exciting it really means for this event.
We knew that would happen when we saw that the conditions were so benign. Basically, it's not at all humid, which sometimes it is a little bit. We're subtropical, but it's a cool, dry few days that we've had, so that's been wonderful for everybody, volunteers, runners, but of course the depth and the quality of the fields. We knew that the athletes were going to push each other, and so I'd have been really surprised if the course records hadn't been broken. And of course both courses are, I think, slightly quicker because of a couple of route changes that one we had to make, one we chose to make just to improve the runner experience. So the purists would say, well, they're course records on a new course, but actually you look at those performances and they were probably course records on the old course, but we can leave that to debate over a beer sometime, or soft drink.
Excellent. I mean, I saw the runners at the CPs, they're just so strong. They're super, super strong. And we've been live streaming all day and received so many positive comments, and also from the runners as well, because they really enjoy the Hong Kong running, culture and all the volunteers. And so do you think that, our viewers from the international overseas or in China or in Hong Kong, watching this, do you think it's going to help promote the Hong Kong trail running community culture and the nature?
Yeah, it's really interesting because the Hong Kong trail running community, I would argue, is the best in the world. We've 7 million people living basically in a country park or on its doorstep. So we've got the advantage of real proximity from the city to the trails, and the trails are world class. And we've got a choice of races every weekend, 2, 3, 4 races every single weekend. And so Hong Kong's been lucky enough to already have this incredibly strong trail running community, but what's happened, I think, is the Hong Kong trail running community is becoming the Asian trail running community, or it's merging. So the runners kind of dominating Hong Kong 100 from China, with some exceptions and so on, but there's so much talent in China. But our volunteers, increasingly, we have 1,200 volunteers, many of them are from mainland China. And so it feels as if what's happening is we're all building together this community of runners that started off as Hong Kong, but is now Greater China, and actually more than that. We've had so many runners from the Philippines, from Japan, from Malaysia, from Singapore, I may have said that already, So it feels as if what we have been part of building is an Asian trail running community, and that's so special. So everybody, I think, comes to Hong Kong and they feel welcomed and looked after, and we're delighted to host people from everywhere. I think that the Hong Kong trail running community is embracing being very much part of that, and having the opportunity to see all this talent and to make friends with people from all over the world, and certainly all over the region, with different cultures and different approaches, but one shared passion: trail running and the outdoors. So it's been so much fun watching that happen and being part of it, and you know, a small part of it. It's the people themselves that have built this community. But yeah, super special. Really proud to be part of it, and long may it continue and continue to grow.
Yeah, really good job, because so many runners, they already said that they will come back next year. So congratulations for putting these races together. It's been an amazing journey. Thank you. Going back to you. Oh, do you want to?
Thanks to you, Natalie, and the team. We know how hard everybody has worked to pull the streaming together. The late nights, the dealing with technical issues, just pulling it all together. Relatively late in the day sometimes, because of the uncertainty that you sometimes have about whether something's doable or not. But I mean, I can't wait to binge watch back the footage. I've hardly seen it because I've had one or two things to do, but massive kudos to the whole team that has pulled this together, and you and Richard in particular as the heads of the team. It's an amazing job you've done, and we're super grateful. Thank you.
Oh, thank you so much, because it's actually really been an amazing experience bringing Hong Kong trails and bringing this amazing race to everyone. So thank you, Steve. Thank you, everyone. Thank you, volunteer. And going back to you, studio.
Well, thanks both. What a day for everybody here on the team, and it's a big team that's pulled this together, a real village effort on the part of those people here in the studio. Both myself and Charmaine benefiting a lot from a lot of things happening behind the scenes that you can't see, and a huge effort, of course, from the team on the course as well, making the live stream possible. Any particular highlights, Charmaine, for you today in your many hours of sitting here watching this race unfold?
I just think, oh, sorry, I'm starting to lose my voice there. It's been, it's really exciting. I'm lost for words to describe it. What a day, and I saw so many runners, elite runners, and it's my first time to be here watching it live and commentating with you, Richard. It's one of the most memorable moments for me, and personally, I think actually I want to cheer along not just the winners of the race, but also every single runners who had put so much effort into their trainings, to sign up and come to turn up to the race, in whatever distance that they signed up. And for those runners who probably couldn't make it just because maybe injuries or some other issues, you know, it's just keep on doing what you love, and we'll see you. I'll see you next year.
Absolutely, it's been a really fantastic celebration of trail running, but also our combined love, all of us involved in this, of course, Hong Kong trail running and the Hong Kong scenery that we all know and we love so much to share with the rest of the world. So on that note, we're just going to play a montage video of visual highlights that showcase all of the best scenes that we've enjoyed watching and broadcasting to you all today. And we'd just like to say a huge thank you to all of our viewers and audience around the world, and see you next year.